All right, so my husband left his slipper on the floor and the puppy found it. So I'm not going to chase the puppy or tug with it, right? But I will get her off in there. Good girl. Give her another thing to chew on. All right, now if I caught her ahead of time, let's say, slippers here. No, no. No. Alright, so I stand in front of it and kind of block her until she gives up. Alright, so that's what I would do to teach them not to touch things. I mean, I live a normal life with kids and a husband, so there's stuff laying around my house that the puppy will pick up by accident. And this is a foster puppy. It's not in for official training, so I'm raising it just to be a good citizen and to get adopted. So now you can see she wants the slipper, but she's not going to get it, right? And this is a real sheep wool slipper, so it's very tempting. But if you teach puppies this at a young age, it will make your life a lot easier, because then she learns no means don't touch. And then I can probably, she's like, good girl. Good girl. All right, I'm gonna dry my hair. Of course, hair dryers make a loud noise, and some puppies may not be used to those kind of noises. So the first thing I do is I let the puppy sniff and just look at it. And if they're still scared, I'll put it down on the ground and let them go investigate. Now this puppy's been around the hairdryer before, and she's not scared of it. And then I'll pick it up and turn it on low. Now, if the puppy was afraid of this noise, I would let them go away from it. All right, I'm not going to make them stay right next to some scary noise. I wouldn't blow it on them, that's for sure. I've rarely had a puppy that totally freaks out over this if I let them check it out first. So if they're really scared, then you want to be as far away from the puppy as possible. And if it's not working, then you might have to take it to a larger room and go further away. And just dry your hair that way and let the puppy maybe be in its crate or on the other side of the room, just to see that the hairdryer is not going to hurt them. If you have more issues with loud noises, you can see my video. It's called Pups in a Vacuum, and you can use the same principle with the hairdryer. Okay, so I have my kitchen kind of set up for, well, my whole house set up to foster puppies and dogs. So I have a big gate here. I like this one because there's no horizontal slats. The dogs can't climb. I have a carabiner clip under there, and that's so I can clip the leash to that and use this for a bed stay practicing area, a place stay, or just to somehow constrain the dog. I have, I'm decorating for Christmas. I have a puppy pen here that I put across this opening. I have, and I also keep the doors closed to my other rooms so the puppy can't get in. And I have other gates in the house, like there, to the living room. Right? Now, people may be like, oh my gosh, is this really worth it? In my mind, yes. Because you can have your puppy in the kitchen. Come on, pup, pup. Come on, pup. puppy. Good girl. And so I'm going to fix my breakfast. And I can gate her off and she can hang out in here with me. Right? And she's not going to hurt anything and I can watch her. So now they learn that they can jump on this gate and move it. So of course if she does that, you have to stop her. She's not allowed to jump on the gate. But I always have a few, like a bone or a toy to entertain her while I'm doing things in here. Now, so what kind of toys do I let her have? So I want you guys to notice how she's playing with this toy. And it's a little bit stuffed, but it's one of these rope toys or twisty fabric toys. So what she's doing here, shaking it around, is practicing killing. Alright, so puppies, you know, out in the wild would need to learn how to do this, obviously, because they would have to find food. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but if you're having trouble with your puppy being overly excited or mouthy or having problems giving things to you, this is not the toy to give to them because of this reason. Alright, so other better toys for puppies with, this is prey drive, would be maybe keys, balls. I usually have a bone laying around for her to play with or chew on. I have lots of things for puppies to chew on in my house that are appropriate. And if you're going to give your dog these kind of toys, you need to teach it how to let go of them. And I will cover that later today when I'm playing fetch with her. So anyway, just be aware of what you're creating when you give your dogs these toys. Some dogs tear them up right away, so that's a big waste of money. Other dogs, I have a dog who won't tear it up for months. And so with that particular dog of mine, she's very lazy, very low prey drive. I give her these kinds of toys and we play fetch with them. So it's very individualized, but in general, if you're having any problems with your dog, this is not the toy to give them. Also, any toys that squeak or have stuffing in them or resemble an animal or resemble anything in your house that you don't want the dog to touch is not a good thing. So would I give this dog a piece of wood to chew on that resembles my chairs in my dining room? No. Right? Would I give her a stuffed animal that resembles my daughter's stuffed animals that she's not allowed to touch? No. So think about what you're giving the dogs and what it's encouraging them to do, and this will make your life a whole lot easier. And you also train them that they're allowed to touch their things, but not yours. And that just comes with time. They learn, they know what's theirs, it has their scent on it, and they know what's yours because it has your scent on it. Alright, so when you're using a puppy pen or anything like this to block the puppy, do not let people come up and pet the puppy over the enclosure. Just ignore the puppy. That is just frustrating the puppy and it's not fair. So, of course she was just jumping on it and I was going to show you how to stop her. Coltrane, come here. So if she were to jump up, no. So right there I stop her, right? One paw. Alright, so let's say the puppy wants to try to get out again. Coltrane, come here. Coltrane, come. Good boy, Coltrane. Coltrane's my old boy. So let's see if the puppy tries to get out again. Hopefully she will. Alright, so let's say the puppy wants to try to get out again. Coltrane, come here. Coltrane, good boy, Coltrane. Coltrane's my old boy. So let's see if the puppy tries to get out again. Hopefully she will. Alright, so let's say the puppy tries to get out again. Now I'm tricking her just for the sake of the video, right? But she's being very good. I don't know if you can see her. So if she was to jump on there, I use my body and space to block her. So I step in. No, I tell her no or and I mean it. Right? It's not like, oh no, puppy, don't jump. Right? That gets them excited. Watch this. Hey puppy, how are you, puppy? Oh my goodness, what a cute puppy. Okay? So if you use that tone of voice, you're setting the dog up for failure, right? Mean what you say. It's not going to hurt the puppy. It's going to create trust and respect, which is a good basis for relationships. Hey, no. She sat down, and so I let the pressure off, okay? So, to a dog, any kind of body pressure is telling them to do something, right? It's especially because I'm facing her directly. If the puppy was a little bit afraid of me, I would go sideways and avoid eye contact. This puppy's not afraid of me, so I don't have to worry about it. So any kind of, come here, Coltrane. Any kind of space, any kind of pressure like that can send the dog away from you, right? Coltrane, come. So I'm just showing it on Coltrane here. All right, so he's a good boy. He came, so I give him a little pet. And then if I want to send him away, go. Right? So if you teach your dogs this, you have a way to control them without a leash. But it takes time to teach them, and it takes time it takes time for the human to learn how to do it. The dogs understand it right away because it's natural to them. All right, so let's see if she jumps out when I walk away. So she put a paw up and was thinking about it, so I corrected her right there. And because I did that work earlier, she understands. It's kind of good for them to learn they can be by themselves for a short amount of time. And all I'm doing is putting my shoes in the closet. So another thing is, don't get louder or more frustrated with the dog if it doesn't work the first time. Remain consistent and just keep stepping in, and eventually they'll usually stop. So I'm spending so much time on this because it's a really good thing to learn. And again, foundation laid here will mean a very well-behaved dog later. So I'm going to take her for a walk, so I'll see you at the door. Kind of a dreary day today, so I have the puppy on her leash. Well, she's not allowed to bolt out the door, so I'm blocking her with my foot. Shiloh, stay. Nope. So she's not allowed. I want her to sit. All right, before she goes out the door. Nope. She's not allowed to go out the door ahead of me. Nope. So if she tries, I can put pressure up on the leash, or you can step in with your foot and block. Okay? And I have a video making of this as well, so you can look up that other video that's more extensive on this process. Nope. Nope. So I want to wait till she's relaxed and basically accepting the fact she can't go out the door ahead of me. Nope. So pressure up on the leash. She's sitting. And I walk out the door, she can walk out. Now with a puppy this young, I'm not too particular about where they walk. In my mind, it's all about socialization and her exploring her world right now. However, I will not let her pull me down the street. All right, so she can, something there that she wants. there's something on the ground that she wants, so, but I've already told her we're going this way, so I'm not going to let her get it. So at this age, I'm not too particular about where she walks, and I will let her sniff stuff because in my mind, a puppy needs to explore their world the way a puppy would, which is with their nose. We explore mostly with our eyes. So once she hits about 4 months, 4.5 months, I would start getting her into a more healing position. But right now I'm just, she's just walking, enjoying it, but still being respectful at the same time. So if she finds, let's say, she finds this interesting poo on the ground and I want to keep going, I let her sniff it for a minute and then I just keep walking. Oh, she's got to go potty. Good girl, go potty. Good girl. Now once you get the puppy moving, so this dog's already been on a leash a lot. Okay, so that's a whole nother video. But generally we go at a normal, like a slower pace than normal, and I'll take them for about a 20 to 30 minute walk. It depends on a puppy. Some puppies have a lot more stamina than others. You don't want to make an Olympic athlete out of the dog. So here she's watching a car pull out, right? So I'm just letting her watch it, because I think the more they get to experience things at their own pace, the better. I'm not going to make her run up there, right? And she wasn't scared of it, she was just observing. Walks are super important. If you can't walk your dog every day, don't get a puppy. I start walking them at 7 weeks. As soon as they have their first parvo shot, I start walking. The risk of non-socialization, of them growing up to be either fearful and then aggressive or having behavior problems, is much greater than the chance of them getting parvo. I do not take them to dog parks and things like that where the chances of getting a disease are high, but I take them on a walk in a neighborhood where probably all my neighbors' dogs are vaccinated and healthy. Up the pace. I face the direction. I just found the paper. What? So I face the direction I want the puppy to go. Right? If you turn around and try and coax them to walk with you, you're actually stopping them because you're facing them. Remember the body pressure we talked about with the puppy pen? So this way I'm leading. Right? I'm in charge, but she's allowed to explore, basically. Ah. So it's time for the puppy's nap, right? And she is, so how I know it's time for her nap is that she starts acting a little bit crazy and getting a little bit excited. So this is her crate. She takes her naps in the crate. And sometimes what I do, if they're too excited, I don't want to put them in the crate when they're excited and running around. I want them to calm down first. So what I do is kind of hold them, give them a little massage, right? And this calms them down. Or you can actually, sometimes if they're little, I'll pick them up and give them a little massage like this. But what I always want is I want them to go in the crate by themselves. I don't want to shove them in, if possible. And she's already been trained to go in the crate, right? So she doesn't have a problem going in there and taking her nap. And so you can see she's starting to sit down, so she's calming down. So then I'll put her, just bring her over, hold her collar, put her in the crate. She has a towel in there for comfort, and sometimes I put something safe to chew on in there, and then I usually just cover the crate with a towel. Alright, so I just got home, we went out to eat, and I came back, washed my hands, and now I'm going to let the puppy out. So when I get home from somewhere, I don't rush and let my dogs out. I put down my things and do whatever I need to do real quick before I let them out. Now puppies, I wouldn't let them wait too long because they have to go potty. And she's quiet, so I'm going to let her out. So I don't want her to just barge out. Okay. Come. Come on, pup. Alright, I'm gonna go out and go potty. So to me, this is good play. Shiloh's relaxed enough to lay down, and the puppy is also relaxed, right? It's just like fun competition, not real competition. This is how Shiloh is so good with puppies. So pretty sure that puppy told her that she wanted the stick. So Shiloh waited till the puppy got up and went and got the stick. Alright, so dogs communicate and figure out stuff in amazing ways if you just watch. And now they're playing a little tug-of-war game. This is also important for puppies to learn, is how to cooperate and communicate with other dogs and work things out. And each dog communicates a little differently. So like Annie, the dog in the background there, she's had surgery, so she's on her bed. She would end this, she would just, if she wanted the stick, she would just growl at the puppy, right? What Shiloh does is a little more subtle, I guess. But you can see here she's going up and the puppy got the stick, and so she's like, hey, can I have the stick too? And so now Shiloh has the stick back. Anyway, this is my interpretation. We don't really know what they're trying to say, but... And see, Shiloh's tail is up, so she's a little bit stiffer than she was in her posture a minute ago. But it's also important to know your dogs. So I know Shiloh and Annie really well. And I know kind of they're safe interacting with puppies in this way. And most dogs too. For a few days, Shiloh hasn't really felt comfortable enough to really play. And Shiloh's giving her a little bit of the... Shiloh's getting a little frustrated here. And then the shake off. Release of tension. Alright, so done playing, so Shiloh's taking a nap. And Puppy is kind of hiding out behind that plant there, just kind of hanging out. So this area of my yard is kind of the dog area, and I don't care if they dig here. Right, this is where they lay and have their little hidey holes. But if you have areas in your yard that you don't want them to dig, then of course you wouldn't let them do what Shiloh's doing. And you see the puppy just came in and kind of claimed that spot in a way, I think. And then Shiloh went away. So you see how she approaches with her tail down and her head kind of lowered to Annie, and now she's doing all this licking. It's time for Puppy's food for the midday, and so she's actually sitting very nicely. So I'm not going to do anything but put the food down. Right, I don't make her sit and stay. I'm going to do a little bit of obedience training with her. Puppies have short attention spans, so 5 to 10 minutes, whoops, is usually plenty. And I'm just going to work on come. 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 Alright, so basically all I do is call the puppy and take a step back to entice her to move towards me. Come. And then give her the treat. It's actually a piece of her food. Come. I'm not using her name because she's a foster dog and she's going to get adopted, and I don't know what they're going to name her. So I'm just using come. If it was my dog, I might say, you know, Bailey, come. But usually I just use Puppy for my puppies because they get adopted quickly. Come. 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 Then I can start to have her go over there. Come. Good girl. Throw a piece of food over there so she goes away. Come. Good girl. Alright, so we're working on sit a little bit. And all I do is step back so she comes, hold the treat up over her head, sit. I say sit once her butt hits the ground, because I am associating a word with an action. She doesn't know the word sit. If I tell it to her ahead of time, she's not going to know what I mean. Sit. Oh, And there, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have given her the treat for lifting her feet up. Okay? So let's do it again. Sit. I want 4 on the floor. Sit. Sit. No, I don't give the treat there because she lifted up. Now I give the treat. Okay? Treat over the head. Sit. Over the head. Sit. So if you lift it too far over their head, they're going to jump up. So you don't want to do that. Sit. Yay! Much better with the feet, right? Sit. Sit. Yes. So I'm saying sit when her butt hits the ground. I'm not telling her ahead of time because she's just learning. Sit. Yes. Sit. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. To see what walking with the puppy looks like from a distance. So, here we go. Alright, so feeding time with the dogs. There's the puppy. Sorry, it's kind of dark. And she knows already she has to wait behind this threshold while I get the food in the bowls. And I taught her this the same way I taught her to stay off the puppy pen with the spatial pressure. So I'm going to fill up the food bowls. I'm waiting to see if she's going to come across the threshold, but she's being very good, so I'm going to go ahead and fill up. Alright, so we're going to walk over to where I finished fixing food. So I'll just wait here while I fix it. The food is ready. So I feed in order of pack order. So Annie gets first. Shiloh second. No. So I have here, hold the puppy for a minute. I have the puppy on a leash so she can't eat anyone else's food. Coltrane's next. And puppy's last. Pup, pup. So any new dog is on a leash while they eat, so they learn the rules. That you don't go eating other dogs' food. And then after this, she'll go outside to go potty. Coltrane's over there. He likes to eat over there. Alright, so dogs are finishing up here. So everyone knows they can't mess with anyone else's food. Alright, Shiloh's done. Pick up her bowl. Annie's done. Pick up her bowl. Alright, so sorry it's so dark again. So puppy's been out. She went potty. And now it's before Christmas, so I'm putting up some Christmas lights. on my stairs, and so she's just going to hang out with me. Now, if the puppy likes to wander, leash would be best, and you could either keep a hold of the leash, or you could tie it to like a banister or a heavy piece of furniture so she can't wander off. But I also have this whole area gated off so she can't go very far. Because, you know, I want her to hang out with me, but I don't want her to be running all over the house. She has a few toys to keep her busy. And especially around the holidays, you know, teach the dogs not to touch all the holiday decorations and whatnot. So we'll see how she does with the lights. I'm getting into the evening here, and I need to do some work on my computer, so I'm going to work on a bed stay with the puppy. So there's two kinds of beds I like to use for this. One is a raised bed with this mesh in there. The other is this kind of, I don't know, it's like some kind of fleecy thing with the padded border. And the reason I like either one of these is because it has a defined edge. You can use a bed like that, but the edges get a little blurry to the dog. So I'm going to put my leash on the puppy. I'm going to use this one over here. So they can have a variety of things to chew on the bed. Okay, the bed isn't a punishment. It's just a place for them to be while you can get things done, and they have to stay in one spot. So this puppy has never done this before. So I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm using the leash just to keep her on the bed. If she gets off, I'll say, no, bed, and lead her back to the bed. It takes a couple weeks to really train this into the dog. Then when she gets up, I'll kind of get ready here with the leash. No, bed. So the rules are they can't cross the border of the bed with their paws or their body. Tail doesn't count. So in the puppy, you can work up to having them stay on this for, I don't know, anywhere to about 30 minutes. But you can't overdo this too much or the dog just gets bored and it's just on its bed all the time. So use this maybe once, maybe twice a day. Sometimes I use it in the kitchen while I'm cooking, but now I'm going to do some work on my computer and sit here with the puppy. No, Shiloh, come. Shiloh. Alright, so, bed. So this puppy likes to jump on dogs that come up to me. No. So she's not allowed to do that. Alright, good girl, Shy. Good girl. No, bed. Good girl, Shiloh. It's okay, come here. Come on, Shy. Shiloh is very sensitive. To be careful when I say no to the puppy. She doesn't think I'm saying no to her. Alright, so you guys may have noticed I've not really petted this puppy at all today. So she's nice and calm and relaxed on her bed. I'm going to pet her a little bit. This dog isn't, I wouldn't say craves affection. She would rather play a game or just hang out. But she does enjoy it, you can see. And, this is the time to pet your puppy, okay, is when they're nice and calm, well behaved, and then you can either sit on the floor next to them or sit on the furniture and have them, oh, bed. So she might have to go potty because she hasn't been whining on here the whole time. I'll take her out in just a minute. So the important thing about giving affection is to give it at the right times. If you give a dog too much affection, you're spoiling them. And first of all, they need leadership and guidance, and then the affection comes last. And the reason I've had pretty much success with this puppy today is because when I first got her, I instilled this whole, she wanted to get off. Okay, when I want to release her, so I wait till she's sitting to release her. Okay, come on. I'm going to take her outside. So the most important thing with a puppy is building proper behavior. All right, if you do that, most of your battle is won, and then you can add on the affection later. But the reason this puppy respects what I ask her to do and have her go potty is because I didn't just love on her and pet her. I gave her the leadership and guidance that she needed, and so she listens to me well, and she stays fairly calm with me.